On the left-hand side in the bottom corner here, we also have a table that's growing and generating as we're adding different events and categorizing those. Okay. So here, this table, we have different things that we can actually click on to get the rows and columns of this table. I clicked on face-off outcome versus set actions. Okay. And this is telling me so far in this game we've had a grand total of 2 face-offs. One was lost, one was won. And imagine if we had this table generated for multiple face-offs, we could see some statistics, right? This table generates statistics of 1 lost face-offs. If I right-click on this table, I can actually copy this table to the clipboard, and in Excel, I can paste this. So I can bring the data elsewhere for statistical analysis. Okay. So you have the capabilities to take any of this information into Excel. Okay. I'm going to do shot outcomes, okay, versus set actions. That's my table now. And so we've tagged so far a grand total of 3 shots. 1 was a goal and 2 were saved. Okay. This is the information that it's given me. I am going to take off this filter, get back to all my events in my tag. If I click now on shot here, it filters through and finds the shots. So this table is interactive as well too. So you can use this filter here if you want to, or if you have a table and you say, I want to see all the shots, filter through and see all the shots. Well, if I want to see all the shots that were goals, I click on this number 1 and only that 1 comes up. So imagine if you had a table of player numbers by shot outcomes. If you want to see all the shots by number 15, then you click on that cell, and only those shots by number 15 come up. Okay. Similarly, if you're trying to tag a competition, you're trying to look at a specific athlete doing a specific trick, then you can actually just click on that cell and you go bang. So it goes right to that part of the video. Which obviously, I say it goes right to that part of the video. It's something that a coach has had to go through the video and do the analysis to tag, right? So you are spending time up front to do the analysis, but the time in the back end to, or after the fact, to sit with your athletes, you save so much time, so much time. Okay? So this table is interactive. Okay. And this table as well too, you can actually set up the table. If I right click, or if I click on this little thing, I can set it up as a percentage of total, so I can get not the frequency of events, but I can get the percentage of the events. Or the duration of the events doesn't make sense for me, but some people use it. So you have different ways of looking at the frequency, the percentage, or the duration of the events. Okay? And you can color code it if you want to, in different colors. And you can also add different levels as well too. So by clicking on this button here, I add another level. So this one doesn't make sense because they have no other tags, but you can add it like a 3rd level. You can actually add a shot outcome by a set action by a player number if you had a player number or something like that written down there. So it's a powerful tool, but I'll just leave it at that. It is what I wanted to show from that table was that it is a way of generating statistics. And the second thing, it's a way of being able to filter down to the specific things by clicking on any one of these cells. Okay. Any questions? Pretty simple. You guys seeing some applications? Keith is saying that's not simple. Nothing's simple.
It really isn't.
Really, it's not simple?
No, nothing's simple.
Oh, nothing's simple. Okay, so I'm going to select my tagging panel, which is saved here in a directory, and it's my goal ball tagging panel. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the sport of goal ball and discuss the tagging panel that we've created. So you're going to notice some images here. that I have. And then under the game action, we have a bunch of colorful buttons, okay? You saw, and I'm going to play, I'll play the video in the background while I'm talking about goal ball so you can actually see. Okay, so basically the objective here is you see nets, you have to get it in the net. There are obviously rules around how you can get it in the net. You're noticing them roll the ball. They can't launch it in the air or cross and try and throw it in the net. It actually has to touch before a certain line and then touch before another line. If I'm not explaining this correctly, Janice, jump in at any time. So you notice a lot of rolling of the ball. You're going to notice some athletes that are trying bounce shots as well too, but there's some specific rules to where that ball has to land initially when they throw it. And all the athletes are visually impaired, but they all also have ski goggles on, I guess.
Eye shades, yeah.
Sorry?
Eye shades.
Eye shades that prevent them from seeing anything. So, so they're all in the equal level. So they're all not being able to see anything. And the ball itself too has some bells in it, some sound devices, so they can actually hear the ball as well too. So what our goal was when we were doing analysis for Janice and the team and other people within the team was to break down gameplay footage and figure out very specifically where teams and athletes were throwing from and where they were throwing to. I mean, obviously the athletes on the defensive side have to be able to anticipate and defend against where that ball is going. And that's why we created some very specific buttons, and we'll discuss the tags and the buttons. So we were interested in looking at the shots. Obviously there's shots going back and forth and back and forth. We were interested in categorizing those shots, whether or not it goes in the net, whether or not it's blocked, whether or not it misses the net. Okay? So you're going to see my description here across the top, shot for, shot against. So we have two teams here. We are the team that is for, obviously, because we're the Canadians, but sometimes we will tag two teams like Sweden and Finland playing against each other. We choose the home team at that point to keep the buttons similar. So we'll say Finland is the home team, so they are the shots for. And the shots against will be the shots by the other team. So we have shots for, shots against. So in this situation, I would be pressing a button right now where we would have a shot for, and then that would be a save or blocked. And then this is a shot against, and this is a save as well too. Now, we also wanted to know where that shot originated from and where it ended up. So hence we have the green and yellow buttons across the top, which are called origins and destinations. Okay, so we have origin 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have destination 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the goal ball courts here was basically split up from left to right into 5 sections. So if equally, when we were tagging, we would say this is section 1 from here to here. This is section 2, this is section 3, this is section 4, and this is section 5. Section 0, or destination, or origin 0, was outside. Okay. So we have origin 0. Sometimes athletes start from off court, you notice, and then jump on the court to throw the ball. So the origin would be origin 0, and destination 0, where the ball ended up, would be off the court. So we would want to know the path of the ball. And you will notice patterns that teams typically like playing and patterns that individuals or athletes typically like playing. So if you were to plot all the shots by a specific girl from Sweden, this is Sweden, right? Yeah. From Sweden, she might always throw from origin 5. Let's take a look at the next shot that Sweden does, and I'll give you what shot. So this is a shot by Sweden. And this is origin 2 and destination 1. So her position was origin 2, and then destination 1, because it starts from right to left, that's where she shot it. So that shot would be origin 2, destination 1.
Well, actually, her origin would be 4. It's opposite, right?
Her origin? No, this is 2.
If you're looking at it this way, but if it's from her perspective, it's from 4.
Yeah, but we would always look at it. You would be confused. always look at it from looking at the net. This is where we always have it. But I'll show you an even easier way. This is what I'm going to show you. This origin destination thing, what we worked on years ago is something that we've replaced using something called the zone tool. Okay? So that's why I have these diagrams of these goal ball courts. These are actually interactive diagrams, and I'll show you how these react when you actually press on this. Okay? So you don't need to worry about origin destination. I'm going to do some tags of shots, do the categories of block, goal, miss, and then just click on this diagram for where it happens. Go click, 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 click. And then we're going to create a scatter plot of the origin and destination in Excel using the duck information that we get from Dartfish. And I'll show you how to do that, okay?
Are they not allowed to bounce it?
They are, but it doesn't have a lot of bounce properties.
Oh, okay.
And it also has to, there's a high ball line, so 6 meters from the net, it has to be on the floor.
Okay.
And then it's another 6 meter line from there. It has to touch at least once in between in the neutral area.
So here it is. So here's they're called the overthrow line. So Janice is saying the ball has to touch here before so when
that
they
line.
throw it, before this line,
Yeah.
and then it has to touch
Somewhere in the neutral area.
in the neutral area,
Yeah.
somewhere in there before this line. So even if they have power, they can't bounce it from here, and if it goes way over here, that's a penalty.
Which
Okay.
some girls can, not a lot, but a lot of guys can. So
Yeah.
they really have to watch where they position themselves to throw.
And what happens if there's a penalty?
It's a
So
penalty.
penalty is like a penalty shot, like a one-on-one situation.
On that whole net?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so one person defends one throw, so you don't really want to end up in a.
What's a typical score?
You know, on the women's side, it can be pretty low, like,
Haven't
you
seen
know,
it going.
2-1, 3-2 kind of thing.
And how
On the
long's
guys'
the-
side, it could be higher, because they tend to take more penalties.
How long is the game?
2 12-minute halves.
Yeah, there's a lot more penalties in the men's game because they're taking more chances. So, but most of the penalties are the high balls, right? Typically,
High balls, and the men have long balls.
and long balls as
High
well.
balls.
Too, so. And specific rules of how you can get penalties are the high balls or the long balls. You can't
There's a 10-second rule. So from the moment that it's like a shot clock, so the moment that the team defends it, they have 10 seconds to throw it back, and the 10 seconds stops at the center line.
And there's a third throw penalty.
They got rid of that, actually.
You can throw as many times as you want to now.
Yeah.
That's not good. Is it?
Well,
If you have a good player.
the teams like it. Teams like it.
So you couldn't throw more than 3 before, but now you can throw, like your shots, you had to give it to another player.
Yeah, you could have 2 throws and then you had to pass it off. Someone else had to throw before you could throw again. I mean, that comes from the origins of the game when it was first invented, to make sure that it was equal,
Yeah.
like, more participation. And, we've kept that rule all these years, and then it just changed this last year.
And historically, the sport was created after World War II for the vets.
Veterans rehabilitate.
Where was it created? Where was it?
Germany.
Germany.
Germany, Austria.
So,
Sometimes, but the center person's more defensive, and, because they have a little bit more area to cover, and then the wingers have better angles to throw from.
So do you have zones on the interactive map then for in the goal, like the 3 zones, so you can kind of see which person let the team down?
we have, no, it's all good questions.
This person let in 4 goals.
Yeah, and now we can be specific, but here is I just want to show you the tagging panel now. Okay. So quickly, looking at the different aspects of the tagging panel, and I'll discuss this for about 10 to 15 minutes or thereabouts, and then maybe we'll just go grab some lunch quickly again, just like last time. Bring our lunch back here and we'll continue. Shot 4, I clicked on the shot 4 button. It's defined as -2 seconds and 4 seconds duration, so that's how we find our tag. Shot against was exactly the same thing, 2 and 4. But we never defined the definitions of these. So when I click on the categories now, so these are keyword buttons, what's called keywords. These don't have pre-rolls and durations. These are categorizing the shots, right? Basically, that's all we're doing. So you define this as a label, and then a category, which is shot result, and then the keyword is actually just the name of the button. So, and then the origins and destinations are just keywords that we categorize things with, and I'll show you that. And then we have the penalty shots, which are tags as well too. So they're similar to the shots. We have penalty shot for, penalty shot against. And then more specific, we have names of athletes that we use as well too. So for our athletes, these are the athletes that we had at one point in time. Any of these athletes still playing?
That's really old, that's like 2008.
But any of these athletes still playing?
One,
Yeah, just straight up.
Who's
two.
playing? Who's playing?
Nancy and Amy Cation.
Nancy still playing? She's getting up there.
Actually, three, Whitney's playing,
What he's playing too?
just coming out.
So we actually took that information and tagged the shots, tagged the categories of the shots, the origin, destination, and for our team, more specifically, we would say that was a shot by Nancy, that was a shot by Amy, and so on and so forth. So we could drill down many different levels into the shots. Okay? And then the penalties, we had different categories, categorizations for. So if we saw penalty and an infraction by either our team or the other team, then we would say penalty, and then we would define that penalty by a series of category buttons. And those are the different types of penalties, at least at that time. The third throw one is no longer in existence. So we have high ball, long ball, short ball, 10-second game delay, are all those still penalties?
Yeah, I don't know why we have the short ball in there, but
Where's short ball?
when the ball doesn't reach the defensive team.
Doesn't even reach them? What do you mean, it just rolls and just stops?
Well, yeah, because someone, you know, you haven't thrown it, you kind of flubbed it, or you didn't throw it hard enough.
Do people try to throw it like
It's very
really
rare.
slowly?
You're trying to waste time.
Yeah, like right near the end of a game when it's like, you know, 1-0 kind of thing, they'll slowly roll it, kind of like cross court to like eat up time. But now that they time the 10 seconds ending at the center line, they just recently changed that rule. Now people, it's to get rid of that because people didn't like it. But I thought it was very strategic.
Yeah, it's
I think it
a
is.
strategy.
Yeah.
Just like any sport. In soccer, you're just holding on to the ball and trying
Yeah,
to
exactly.
kill some time, or hockey too, or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so that's our tagging panel in essence. And I already have a tag game after we describe this, after we grab some lunch. We'll get into the analysis. I'm not going to sit and tag a whole goal ball game. I already have a tag game. And I want to show you, this is the tags, this is how we can categorize a tag, this is how we can do analysis using the zone tool. But I just want to present the zone tool to you quickly. So I click on this image, and it's just an image. It can be any image. You can get a JPEG image or a bitmap image or whatever you want to off the internet, or if you have that. If you have an image of your court, then you can put it in here into Darkfish. Okay. So basically it actually says this is my goal ball JPEG court image. If I click on this, I can actually say, well, where is it on my computer? And I can just insert it in here, okay? But this image itself, we can define very specifically. And I think, who had that question about how can you break it down to the 3 parts or something like that? Well, I've broken it down to more than 3 parts. I have created a grid on this goal ball court that is 50 units in width and 100 units in length. So I've broken it down into a 50 by 100 unit little grid. I can break it down into finer points if I want to, or looser points. If I want to break it down into 5 positions across, then I could do that as well too, by changing that number to 5. Okay? But the finer you get in your detail, the better you are when you create the scatter plot. Okay? So basically, when I click on any part of this court in my tagging panel, you will see that it will give me an XY coordinate. Okay? In computer lingo, the field center is a 0, point. You can change where that center is, or you can keep by default. A computer understands that this is your 0, point, the top left corner of an image of your computer screen. So the X direction is this direction, positive, and the Y direction is that direction, positive. So basically, if I am having some tags here, and I'm going to show all my tags. So my tags are here. game action. This is shot 4. Like I said, these are my shots. So this is a blocked. This is a blocked. Oops. My next one is a blocked. Really, there's no face-offs, but it's a goal, for example. So these are my three shots. So now if I wanted to give an origin and a destination, I could do it the old way because I have my origin and destination of these particular. So if I click on this tag that I actually have, the origin is 3 and the destination is 2. So if I do here, so
We did change it though, when you're, anyway, for the purposes of this, go ahead.
but the diagrams worked out well with the scatter plot. So I'm just going to do this the old way. So origin 3, destination 2. So you're going to notice right away here in the shot origin destination, it's actually put a label onto that shot. Okay. So that's a block shot. That's origin 3, destination 2, and that was a shot by Nancy. If I do Nancy, then her name will come up as that particular shot. So you can see the different levels of how that's being categorized right now. Now that is the old way. So now I have this diagram. I'm just going to make these smaller so we can see. So if I had this goal ball court now, and I want to now categorize this shot, well, this particular shot came from a specific location, which was about here. And as I click on here, it's actually going to give me an origin, 2616. So that's the XY coordinate. Okay, so the X is the first number, so you're going 26 units, right, out. And it makes sense because we had this thing separated in 50 units, right? So we're somewhere around the middle, around the 25 mark. In the X direction, it's going way down. And it's going 16 units down, right? If I clicked on right the center of this diagram, it should go to around 50 units. So let's click on that, and actually, well, 24 to 65. Not very good image. Where's 50? So anyways, you can see as that number is changing, the origin's changing. So this is a clickable, definable position where you can click on a diagram and get information on the origin destination. This means nothing to you now, okay? But once we take this information out, and I've tagged origins and destinations for a game, shots for, shots against, I'll show you how we can take this information out, and bring it into Excel, bring the same diagram in, and plot a scatter plot right on top of there. So then you can see a scatter of where all the shots came from and where they went to. Okay. Goal ball, very specific situations where we would take all this information, and I think that I have, I just want to show, I want to show you tag and analysis. For Janice. Oh, this is a good one. So this was something that we would have taken, and we would have plotted information based on the statistics of origins and destinations, Canada versus Denmark, for example. And then this gives you information of where most of the shots against are coming from for this particular game, and where the shots are going to. So this is some statistics. But what we did when we created something like this, it's much easier to create using Excel and this origin destination plot in Dartfish right now. I would actually take all the information out of those 5 origin destination positions and plot it on something like this. So you can see where the 2 goals went in, or 3 goals went in here, 2 here and 1 here. And then on the other side, the goals went in at either corner in position 4 and 5. Anyways, let's go grab something to drink, eat. I know Keith has his food here, his lunch.
you.